Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Next Goal Wins podcast. It's been a while, Georgie. It's been a while.
It's the first time for me in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's probably been close to a month since Joe said that you passed away.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. I'm alive.
As you guys can see, because of Joe's controversial comments, he is no longer here. HR decided that he needed to be cut. So Joe's not here anymore. It's just me and Georgie.
Sorry, Joe.
Listen, don't act like you didn't want this to happen.
It's part of my master plan. I told all my friends to comment in the comment section. And
Georgie wants to take over the podcast, and eventually it's just going to be him. I'm gonna get.
It's the whole plan. Too. Yep.
So anyway, it's been a while since we've done a podcast, and the reason why is lots of crazy things going on, lots of life stuff, lots of stuff. The most important, the real reason why we haven't done a podcast is because Georgie left the country.
I left the country for 10 days.
Yeah, it's a long time.
No,
in the podcast world, that's a long time.
That is true.
But anyway, he left. He went to the United Kingdom. Yeah, he went to England.
Yeah.
To go watch a couple Liverpool matches.
Yeah.
So that he can in person say bye to Jurgen Klopp.
We hugged. He gave me some fist bumps, and then everything else is good.
I did tell Georgie to give him my resume, but I don't know if that ever did that. Did you give him my resume or no?
You know, in the 2-hour conversation, that never really came up. But
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But anyway, Georgie went all the way, which is kind of cool. We got to experience a little bit of England. Georgie, how was that?
Amazing, man. It's totally different. I mean, we go to like the friendly games here, and obviously they do their tours, preseason stuff. But once you go to the actual stadiums, with like within the home crowd, the people that go every single weekend, it's a completely different feeling.
Which was the game that you went that was a home game?
I went, so it was Liverpool against Burnley. That was the home game. And then Brentford against Liverpool. That was the away one.
So Georgie went to Liverpool-Burnley, which was a match that broke the attendance record.
Yeah.
The home attendance record.
Yeah, 60K.
At Anfield. And I looked at that post under like ESPN, or I think it was Liverpool who posted it actually. And underneath, it was people complaining about all these damn tourists coming in.
That's literally what. No, that was the thing. In the UK, a lot of home supporters don't like it when tourists. But tourists, they don't mean tourists.
Tourists / Darwin Nunez lookalikes?
No. They don't mean people from different countries by tourists. They mean people that are not actual fans of the team. So originally I thought it meant like.
So you're good. So they weren't talking about you.
Yeah, they weren't talking about me. I'm one of the homies. No, they mean people like for example, if you're an Arsenal fan and you go to a Liverpool game, they're like, this guy doesn't support them. There's no passion.
People who are non-supporters.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, what those people do is they're freaking recording on their phone nonstop, so they're trying to make videos and not really being in the atmosphere, being in the moment. So that's what people don't like. But
anyway,
yeah, not me.
It was definitely about Georgie.
The atmosphere was amazing. I don't know what, like, I mean, I do have videos because I did want to record that you never.
So you were that guy. No, you literally just described yourself.
No, before the game. Before the game, I recorded You Never Walk Alone. During the game, I took like one video of Trent when there was a corner kick and he came and started clapping the fans. That's the only time.
So this is not the one where you're singing that you showed me?
That was, yeah, before
so that was another one.
No, that was before the game. You Never Walk Alone. I posted it today on Instagram. It sucks because in order to capture it, you want to just not sing.
Yeah.
But I also want to sing because that's the only time so it's like I'm singing it into the phone and it sounds stupid.
But anyways, you guys got some good victories. You've been playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Still top spot, right?
Yeah. I just want to say, for the record, Liverpool-Burnley, I went to that game. Darwin Nunez scores.
What a great goal. Was that? No, that wasn't the... That was the
header.
Yeah. That was the header, yeah.
Brentford, away at Brentford, which Liverpool have never won away at Brentford. Ever. Goes to that game. My boy Darwin Nunez.
How was it in person? That goal?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't know if it was going over or in because I was right behind him. So, like, as he's going that way, I just saw him, like, the ball go in the air, but everybody's like, is it going to go over the goal? Like, is it going to bounce in? As soon as it bounced in, just erupted. It just absolutely erupted.
That was class. I'm not going to lie. That was a great finish.
When you
Such a difficult finish because you're running pretty fast to try and get the right. And the goalkeeper stays on his feet too. It's not like he just chipped it over like the goalkeeper who went to ground. So it was a difficult finish.
Well, like when I saw him go on the breakaway, I'm thinking like just pass into either corner because both corners were like not wide open, but like
he was running through the middle.
So as soon as he chipped, I was like, out of all the options, and then it worked out. So who am I to tell my boy Darwin? And then he got hurt. So
yeah,
the rest, whatever.
So we're not going to do a pre-cap. We're not going to do an organized podcast today. I just want us to kind of get back into it. Joe will be here on the next one, so we just completely got off the topic, but we said Joe's not here. Joe is actually going to come back. He just couldn't make it today, but we'll actually get back on the podcasts now that we have a little bit more free time. But a couple of things have happened, and it wasn't just, and one of those is the managerial world is going crazy right now because it wasn't just Klopp that announced he was leaving at the end of the season. I think it was funny because Klopp and Xavi, who was the one that said first that they were leaving at the end of the season? Was it Klopp?
Klopp, yeah. Oh, because, no, wait.
I can't even remember at this point.
It might have been.
But it was Klopp now who said he's leaving at the end of the season for sure. It was Xavi who said he's leaving at the end of the season for sure. And now Tuchel has also said he's leaving at the end for sure.
Domino effect.
Thinking about it, though, it's a smart way to say... It's a smart way to end your job knowing it's going downhill so fast, besides Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to, like, make you look like it wasn't completely up to you or completely up to the board that you got sacked. Because we all know that Xavi and Tuchel are most likely the ones that were going to get sacked because of the performances.
Well, the thing is, though, I think Tuchel had the talks with the board, so they came to an agreement to be like, okay, I don't think it's going to work out. Where the other two are like, we're leaving it on our own terms. Tuchel, I don't think even, to be honest, I don't know if he had that option to say.
No, but what I'm saying though is that it's a good way to put it so that you don't look like you got sacked because you were doing a terrible job. Because most managers will wait and they'll say, "Oh, I have the support of the board. I have the support of the board," and then next thing you know, it's like sacked.
Too late.
So it's a way for them to say like, "Look, it's clearly not working. It's not going to work out. You're going to get fired. So we'll let you make it look like at least you're the one that left on your own accord." Jurgen Klopp obviously did it because they weren't going to sack him, and I think it's perfect for him because if they do win the Premier League this season,
I hope
the man gets 10 statues outside of the stadium after it's all said and done. Xavi was probably going to get let go. Xavi was he just can't. It's clear that he doesn't want to deal with the stuff outside of the pitch. There's so much stuff outside of the pitch that he doesn't want to deal with. And then Tuchel's a bad one because he's getting...
Yeah. But with Barcelona, they're actually on the come up now. They're second. And they're only, if I want to say, 5 points behind Real Madrid now.
But it's good because it takes the pressure off of them.
Yeah, so now it's like, all right, now we can go out and play and potentially challenge. I mean, Girona dropping points, Atletico Madrid dropping points. I think Girona had like 1 point out of the last 5 games or something like that. So they went on a bad, besides the last game they won, but they were on a bad run. Atletico Madrid just tied Almeria away, which is the worst team in the Liga. So,
but the other thing it does though, and the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because now you have Xabi Alonso, who just broke the record for the most unbeaten games in German football across all competitions, I believe.
And it's him, Pep, Klopp, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think that's the top three right now.
Crazy though.
That's insane.
Because this man has been coaching for. This is his first job, isn't it?
So in the top league, so he was the Real Sociedad B team coach. He actually took them from the 3rd division to the 2nd division for the first time ever. So that's I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a job, but it's not anything like big as this.
But still, so then he goes to Leverkusen and he does this.
Who were struggling, by the way. Who were relegation type
and
of battle.
Completely turns them around. Yeah. And now it's crazy because the Liverpool job opened up first, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's got to be Xabi Alonso. It's got to be Xabi Alonso." And he said that he wants to manage the teams that he's played for. And how crazy is it that the Bayern Munich job opens up now, and now everybody's like, well, now he gets to choose whether he wants to go to Liverpool or whether he wants to go to Munich. But this man, who has literally very few years of coaching experience, is now wanted by two of the biggest clubs in the entire world, and he gets to choose.
That's insane.
Now,
I love the man.
who do you think he prefers? You think he prefers to go to Liverpool, or do you think he prefers to go to, like, which one would you say that his legacy is bigger at?
Oh, Liverpool, without a doubt. There's no question. His legacy is much. I think he's even said it. Liverpool is his second home. It's just
Yeah,
the
Munich
connection.
is his first.
No. Actually, I don't even know what first. I mean,
I just wonder because, like, from his perspective, where would you go?
All right, so I'm a Liverpool fan. This is the only time I'm ever going to talk about, until obviously Klopp is done with. But this is the only time I'm going to talk about a different manager before season is over, and whatever. The only man that's 1,000% right for the Liverpool job is Xabi Alonso, and that's a fact. He played for the team. He has a connection with the club. He has a connection with the supporters. He knows what it takes to be a Liverpool player, what it takes to be a Liverpool manager, and the way nobody can ever replace Jurgen Klopp. It's impossible, because Jurgen Klopp brings a lot more than just being a manager. He's the man he is, the charisma, the aura he brings, and like within the whole city, within the stadium, within the players, like within the whole entire club. Nobody's ever going to be able to replicate what he's done. However, if there's anybody else that will come close at this moment of time, it is Xabi Alonso, because he has the similar charisma on the sideline. I feel like all the players love him. You can see when the matches are played, all of them. He's more of a man manager, communicator, a person that you're willing to run through a wall for. That type of work. Like it's very, very rare that you get a really good manager that's obviously good on the field, coaching, and does all the stuff like that. But on top of that, the man, charisma, the aura, and all that stuff that comes with it. It's very, very rare that you find that. And if you think about any other manager in the world right now, I can maybe name 3 or 4 that do that. Everybody else is like...
So you don't want Mourinho?
No chance. There was talk about Tuchel. No chance. I would not even consider Tuchel.
It's impressive. It's impressive because the early criticism that he got was, oh, well, he's inexperienced. He doesn't have as much experience. But like he quickly shut that down because Bayern Munich has won the Bundesliga for what, the last decade?
Yeah.
But the last one that won it before him was Jurgen Klopp, right?
Makes sense, yeah.
So this man does something that was essentially impossible. Like if anybody would have said Bayer Leverkusen would be undefeated and they'd be 11 points ahead of Bayern Munich, everybody'd be like, that's impossible. That would never happen. Which, if I was a betting man, which I am. But anyway, back on track here. So clearly he's proven that it doesn't matter because he does have the experience or whatever. Just because he hasn't done it for as long as some of these other managers, he's done a much better job in the short amount of time that he's been a manager than almost anyone in the world could possibly do right now. So I think every Liverpool supporter wants Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
I think every Bayern Munich supporter now wants Xabi Alonso. He's already in the league. He knows the league well. Like, it's not going to be that much of a change. He's going to have essentially better players, probably a little bit more control. The problem that I see with him going to Bayern Munich is that, again, it's one of those like it's a hit or miss, but it's a team where if he does well with Bayern Munich, it's not really his. Nobody's really going to give him credit. Like, they'll give him credit a little bit, but it's like, well, you're supposed to win with Bayern Munich because it's Bayern Munich. So there's no. But however, if he fails, then it's like, yeah, you're not really that good of a manager because it's Bayern Munich and you haven't won. Whereas Liverpool, even though they've established themselves as one of the best teams in the Premier League, always fighting for titles in the last few years, if he continues to take Liverpool from where they're at right now and wins a couple titles in the next few years, he does still get credit because even though Jurgen Klopp built it, you can say it's not fully stable right now.
Yeah.
Like Liverpool is not, especially because of what happened last season. So if he does well with Liverpool, he'll still get credit of saying like, okay, we brought in the right guy, and he's managed to do well with this team. Where people are going to be worried that it could be another Sir Alex Ferguson situation where as soon as Klopp is done, the next 4 or 5 managers could all be, it could just go downhill from there.
Yeah.
So they need to make sure they get the right guy. And I think he is the right guy. And I think I could be his assistant. That's all I'm saying.
That's
putting
all
it
you're
out in the
saying.
world.
Well, I mean,
Putting it out in the world.
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to announce what you got cooking about Liverpool, but
Yeah, but it is first of all, everyone thinks the league is won already.
for Leverkusen,
Yeah. Like at
Yeah.
this point it's like 11 points ahead. Bayern's like kind of on a decline.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's still like 12 or 13 games, something like that to go.
plenty of points to go.
So
but
like there's still an opportunity that he has a bad spell or something and all of a sudden, he's not going to be the same guy that he was hyped up to be at the beginning.
that's what Pep said today or yesterday.
Did he?
He was asked about Xabi Alonso and like how he is as a manager or whatever, and Pep's like amazing manager, this and this, and then, but now it's when it matters. Until now, it's been a great run, but nothing really matters until these last like 10 to 15 games or whatever you have, because you can't win the title now, you can only lose it. So that's when the pressure and the
Yeah.
different type of pressure comes into it. But I think Pep was being a little salty about the fact that Xabi just beat his record of unbeaten games.
Yeah, but it is true because the motivating them to get to the point where they are now is the easier part. Not saying that it's easy at all, but it's the easier part. Like getting them to say like, hey, we could be a really good team if you guys work really hard. Okay, so they do it. Now this is where you really test their personality and who they are as players and as a team, because they're 11 points ahead. So they could very easily take one game off and still be okay.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to somehow continue to motivate them throughout this period and say like, look, we are under the most amount of pressure now. Like, I know you guys have a cushion of 11 points, but really, this is where the pressure is really mounting, because you got all of the press saying amazing things about you guys, about us as a team. You got people saying that Bayern is out, that Munich is out, and that, they're already out of the title race and all of that. So now is when we really need to focus, because if we fuck it up right now, that's going to be really bad. And it's very easy to do. It's still, like Pep said, like he could lose it still. So...
But it's impressive because they're doing it without their best player. Well, I don't want to say their best, but they're the striker.
You did
Boniface.
mention that. You did mention that in the last podcast you were in.
Yeah, he's been out for since January.
It's a system, man.
It's insane.
It's a system. It's
And
one thing about...
Did you watch that game, Bayern Munich against Bayer Leverkusen?
No, I watched the highlights.
The crazy thing is, usually Bayer Leverkusen dominates games. He beat Bayern Munich without, like, he had adjusted perfectly. The adjustments he made for that game were unreal. And it was like a masterclass of how to dominate. I think, and we talked about it, you talked about it with Arsenal versus Chelsea early on in the season, how Chelsea dominated without having the ball at all. He did that to Bayern Munich, and like it completely dominated without touching the ball. They had maybe 35% possession, and you end up winning like that. It was unreal. It was like when it was broken down, and
he's got...
It's
I mean,
crazy.
think about how many games he's played. Not just games, but like really high-level games that he's played in. Champions League finals and like games that really mattered for the league. And he's had coaches who have obviously made adjustments, so he understands that. But he also on the field has had to make the adjustments himself. So like that's I think what sets him apart, is that not only is he a really good manager, but he was a really good player who had to put himself in those situations to win, which he did. He ended up winning a lot of titles and stuff like that. So he sees it from a manager's perspective, but also from a player's perspective. He knows exactly what they're seeing out there and what adjustments they need to make. That's a talent, man. That's a talent.
I mean, think about Mourinho, Pep, Rafa Benitez, like, and then the national team for Spain and all that. Like, that's insane. Those three managers alone, so much experience.
Yeah.
And like how different Mourinho and Pep are. So you get the best of both worlds in terms of styles.
Yeah.
And then his dad was a coach as well. So it's like,
Yeah, he's essentially had the best mentors he could possibly had while he was still playing. It's impressive. Continuing on the Liverpool topic. Big match. Big match. Is it a big match though, Georgie? I'm going to ask you, is it a big match? Carabao Cup final against Chelsea.
When you go to a final, you're there to win it. It doesn't matter. Now, the reason why it was...
If this was a Chelsea-Arsenal final, you would be so different. You would be saying so different.
I would be, but I tell you what made this special. I mean, we kind of talked about it. The reason why this was so special is the Liverpool injuries. Like the Liverpool, 11 of injuries would absolutely destroy the Liverpool. Well, I'm not going to say destroy, but it's probably a lot better than the team that started.
Yeah.
And let alone the team that started. Ryan Gravenberch gets an injury, like not even halfway the first half, gets taken out. Klopp has to make an adjustment, brings in Joe Gomez. So Harvey Elliott drops back into the midfield from the right wing. So he puts Bradley on the wing because we don't have any attacking players like to go on and play. And on top of that, to have that bench, a 16-year-old, few 17, whatever year olds, like inexperienced players. And the kids won it. Simple as that. And that's why it was so special. The kids won it. And look, I'm going to say this because there's been a lot of talk in the past day or two. Rio Ferdinand on his podcast was like, it's just a lot of, I understand they hate Liverpool, but to say the things that was being said, I don't know if you saw it or not. They're talking about how Chelsea are all kids and they're all like the same age as the Liverpool players that came on. The difference is Liverpool didn't buy any of these for 100 million. If you buy something for 100 million, you expect them to come in to be one of the best players to dominate games. That was the difference. So when we keep saying kids, we mean inexperienced players from the academy, from the reserves coming in who one or two of them never even played in a Premier League game, let alone a final at Wembley against a team that spent billion plus to make their team. So that's the difference. And I don't know why it's so hard for people to understand that.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. So everything came together perfectly for this to be a real legitimate final that mattered. I think not just even from the Liverpool side, but also from the Chelsea side. The first thing is from the Liverpool side is, like you said, the injuries, right? So they had all these injuries that you're basically thinking like, if Chelsea doesn't win this game, like it's going to show you how bad they are because Liverpool is literally playing their academy right now. The amount of top quality players who were on the injury list for Liverpool is crazy, which I've been telling you for many years. Somebody's got to do something about that medical team because it's always just Liverpool. It's like insane. Other teams get injuries. Liverpool has like squads of injuries.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now. So that's one. The other thing was that it's Klopp's final season, and everyone's aware of that. So automatically, every match and every cup final that you have left is extremely important for Klopp, for his legacy, for the people. Because people want Klopp to end with trophies and have a good year at the end. So the fact that he's leaving makes this way more special because it's like the last chance he's going to have at the Carabao Cup, right? The next one is that from the Chelsea side, Chelsea's been struggling for so long now that they needed something. They needed a trophy. So this wasn't just like, we're just going to go play the Carabao Cup and then focus on getting Champions League or winning the Premier League. For Chelsea, this was like, we really need this. This is going to mean a lot to us. It's going to mean a lot to Pochettino because it's going to help him get back on track with the fans. And it's going to mean a lot to the players. Say like, well, not just to the players, but to the board and to the fans of saying, these players, we've paid so much money for and we have nothing to show for it. At least we'll get something. So both teams took it with that approach of like, we really want to fucking win this. Not just like, hey, it'll be nice if we win this on our way to completing the season or whatever. And then, so those two things come together, all those things within those two teams But then on top of it, the match was an amazing match. I watched the whole thing. And that is one of the, if not the best 0-0 match up until the goal, obviously.
Yeah.
But goalless match that I've ever witnessed. It was back and forth. Like towards the end, honestly, it looked like each team had 6 players out there and there was a giant hole in the middle. Like both teams are just kind of going back and forth. Lots of opportunities. How Liverpool managed to... Because then I was like, oh, then they're going to put Mudryk on. And like, you're putting these players on, you have to be able to score a goal. So how Liverpool did it, I have no idea, because there was definitely some times where I was like, oh, Chelsea's going to score. Chelsea hit the post a couple times.
The last 10 minutes in the 90, I thought, well, when the kids came out for Liverpool, I was like, this is it. And then Chelsea completely dominated. So at that moment, I was really like, oh my God, 30 more minutes of this.
They both had like really good moments, like times where it was like, oh, Liverpool's definitely going to score, Chelsea's definitely going to score. There was some plays, it was like, there's typically a play in not in every game, but in some of those games where like the ball bounces in the box and then it hits the post and the goalkeeper saves it. There was like 3 of those in this game where I'm like literally like the ball's going to go in at some point. Somebody's going to tap it in at some point and it hits the post and it bounces and it goes off a guy's shin and the goalkeeper manages to save it. By the way, Kelleher played amazing.
Unreal.
Unbelievable game for him.
Absolutely. Like big time saves, 3 or 4.
Yeah,
big
for
time.
sure.
Big time.
There was a couple. There was like the one against Gallagher. There was the one where it bounced a couple times in the box and finally he ended up picking it up. And even Chelsea's goalkeeper.
Yeah.
What's his name? Petrovic?
Yeah.
He made a save. He made the foot save.
He did.
Dude, that is an unreal save. That was on the line. On the line. They always tell you as a forward, when you're going to go for a header, you hit it down into the ground. Because the trajectory of the ball bouncing before it goes into the net is very difficult for a goalkeeper, as if you just hit it straight into the goalkeeper. So I forget who headed it.
Harvey Elliott, yeah.
So he headers it exactly how it's supposed to, and it somehow the Petrovic gets his foot on the ball, and I'm like, dude, I don't know if this ball's ever going to go in. I thought we were going to go to PKs, but at the same time, it's one of those games where you're like, it's probably going to go to PKs, but at the same time, somebody's going to score at some point. And then your boy Virgil van Dijk.
Calm as you like. It just unreal, man.
He did have the one offsides too, or the one that was taken back.
Yeah,
listen. Give me your thoughts.
I look. First of all, let's talk about the Gravenberg thing.
No, but that one's easy though, because that one was a complete referee mistake.
That's if it's closer to a red card than a not like being called a foul.
I know what you're saying.
It's
but
insane.
That one is easy because that one was a clear mistake. That guy should have gotten at least.
Caicedo didn't get it wasn't even a foul. Like that's insane. That's
that one was bad. That one was bad. So that one's an easy one because we can all agree that the referee messed up on that.
Yeah.
You really think that should have not been over?
The reason why I think it should have stayed is because if you look at Colwell, Endo steps in front of him, but it's not like Endo's like trying to like make sure that Colwell doesn't get through. If Colwell makes an effort to go like around him, like if you were the highlight of like the close up of behind them, where like of behind Colwell going towards Van Dijk, he doesn't even make an attempt to like follow. He's just like whatever, kind of like lazy defending. If he like pushes around Endo and like tries to get around, then it's like okay, Endo's definitely in the way. But he just stops. If you just stop, it's not like Endo's. And another thing is, it's not like Endo's like his hands are out. He's literally just like, yeah. But that happens every single time. Players stay offside on free kicks, and then they come back, and then everybody runs. So if we don't, if from now, if until the end of the season, if I don't see one of those calls made, I'm gonna be pissed.
You're wrong, my friend. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So Georgie, so the one we're referring to, if you guys don't remember, is Van Dijk scores a header, but Endo is started offside, and he blocks the path to who is it?
To Van Dijk of Colwell.
Of Colwell coming back running in that lane. So I didn't see that first, and I was like, why are they calling offsides? This guy wasn't even involved in the play. But then I watched the replay, and then I'm like, this makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. But again, Colwell doesn't even attempt.
No. I'm going to tell you this. First of all, it's an organized play by Liverpool. This is not like he's just standing and he's like, I'm not going to run for the ball. Liverpool have trained this. They've practiced this, and they said, okay, this is what's going to happen. Van Dijk, you're going to run. Endo, you're going to block for him. You're going to set a pick. He set a pick, Georgie. Yeah, he set a pick. But you could say whatever you want. If I stand right next to a guy, and I purposely block his pathway, you're setting a pick. It's obstruction.
If he tries to go around,
it's not like he just stands and puts his hands in the air and just says like, I'm not going to do anything. He's purposely blocking the pathway for Van Dijk. Yeah. And the reason why it affects the play is because if if that passing lane is not blocked, Colwill runs into that path where Van Dijk eventually headers the ball. So there's a potential that Colwill manages to throw Van Dijk off or get a touch on the ball or something, because the way that they set it up was that Van Dijk has all that space in front of him to be able to header that ball.
No, I agree with that. Again, if Colwill makes an attempt to run,
he does though.
He just runs into Endo like
because he can't just run around the guy. There's no he has to run through. He has to try and run through.
Yeah, but at least like make an attempt to get around him or something. He's just like it's just lazy defense, like lazy trying to track back.
No. Listen, Liverpool knew exactly what they were doing with that play.
I agree with that. No, 100%.
And that I completely agree with the referees that should not have stood.
That's fine.
Because
as long as everybody that starts offside, when they come back and they are blocking players,
but they're not,
starts getting called.
No. But what happens when players are they're just recovering, right? And they're like walking back or whatever. Is that what you're talking about? Like when the ball goes offside and the players like started offsides, but he's just recovering, so he just kind of like
like on free kicks. Like some players do go offside, like on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like and then as they're about to take the free kick, they run back, and then all their players from the same team run forward, and those players just stay back. They're just there as like guinea pigs for the goalkeeper to be like confused or whatever. So like
but most of them start offsides and then they go back and then they continue their run.
Yeah, a lot of them do that.
Nobody sets picks.
I'm gonna watch that for a fact from now until the end of the season to make sure nobody does that.
No, but the difference is that he's literally starting in a spot but he's also starting in a spot where he's already blocking the space. So let's say he starts 5 yards away from Colwill.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine because then Colwill has enough time to run around him. He starts right in front of him, so Colwill doesn't have any time or space to run around. He has to go through, and he purposely set a pick.
Ball don't lie.
Is wrong. Georgie
Ball
is wrong.
don't lie.
Ball lied for that.
Listen, how impressed were you with the kids? The Liverpool cat. Gary Neville. This is what Gary Neville said. He put the mic down when like the academy players came on. He asked like Carragher, I have no idea how to say these names. I've never heard of these players before. That's insane.
Yeah. Well, of course they're not going to memorize the academy of every single team.
I'm talking about like that's insane that they come in and they perform.
Yeah, but I don't think any of them performed extremely well. I think they did the job. I think your best performers were Endo, Van Dijk, Konate. Konate played very, very well. I mean, that one where he...
Last-ditch tackles.
Yeah, but the one where he ended up... I can't remember. Was it the ball got played in behind and he caught up to whoever it was? Yeah. So that one... So I think and Kelleher. So I think your best performers were actually the core. The core. Yeah. I think the kids came in, they did their job, they made sure that they didn't get scored on. I was disappointed with the forward, the Fro. What was his name?
Oh, Dance?
Yeah, I was disappointed with him. Because I'm like, dude, you're a youngster trying to get into the team. You haven't gotten any real experience. You're being thrown into the final of the Carabao Cup. The least you could do, especially because he only played the last 30 minutes, the least you could do is run your ass off for those 30 minutes. The dude was offsides twice because he would run forward and then he was jogging back. I'm like, dude, don't do that.
He's a goal scorer, man. The guy's.
I don't care if you're a goal scorer. You're a kid trying to break into the team.
He did have the header was nice, where he
had a header.
Save. And I think there's one more. But yeah, you wanted him to be just running.
I was just like, dude, just get your ass back on sides. Yeah. Make an effort because right now they don't need you to get into the game slowly. They need you to run your ass off because the game's all over the place at this point. But they did pretty well. I honestly cannot remember a single one that I was like, man, that was impressive. I thought Harvey Elliott played really well.
Harvey's
so I thought your best players were the core.
Yeah.
Were the core. But what a game though, man. Listen, a game.
It's one of those magical it was an amazing game. but magical moments for Liverpool, magical moment to be like a Liverpool supporter. And yeah, usually like you talk about FA Cup, Carabao Cup, like who cares? It's not really the priority for a lot of teams, or the top teams. But when you are there, obviously you do whatever you can to win it.
Yeah.
And like Jurgen Klopp said, everybody's talking about, oh, it's not a big deal. Liverpool won the Carabao Cup because everybody wishes they were there to win it. So if you're there, you want to win it. It's not like either of those. Like, it's not like Chelsea, like, we're there, but we don't want to win it. No, they wanted to win that. So, like you said, everything kind of aligned to make it really, really special. And again, Jurgen Klopp leaving, the injuries, just it feels like it's one of those meant to be moments, meant to be finals. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, the whole entire game, I was like just like in shock of like what's going on. Like posts on each side, amazing saves. Kelleher, just amazing. Van Dijk, leadership, amazing performance throughout. McAllister, Endo in the midfield, completely like controlling the game and winning tackles and whatnot. And Bradley working his ass off against. It feels like Bradley's been in the Premier League for the past 20 years. Like the experience, and he's one of those young kids as well. Like he just came on a month ago. So, man, I went to the pub and I was just like watching that game.
George was crying. George was bawling his eyes out.
Honestly, I was like, and obviously, personal things aside, for me, what it meant for that moment, just because like the few things that happened like a few hours before. But when I went there and I'm like listening to the "You'll Never Walk Alone" before the game, and I'm just like tearing up. I'm like, wow, this means a lot. And I think that's what's special about, for me, obviously, on a personal level, what's special about Liverpool, because, yeah, it's your favorite team, I'm going to watch them, all that is cool. But when you have that attachment to, like, Liverpool, and then going there 10 days prior, experiencing all of that, and then going through stuff, making sure that those 90 minutes take you away from the problems and take you away from, real life stuff. So every single second of like things going on during the game was just like, like I felt like I was playing in the game, and I was, running my ass off, and I felt like I was sweating the whole time. It was like crying. That it was just like full of emotion. And I'm gonna go back to that tweet that I showed you earlier. That tweet. So
you're so excited about this tweet.
Well, it's just crazy because, again, Liverpool is just more. It's more than just a team. It just means a lot more. And I think we saw that in extra time when the academy kids were on. The Ale Ale song, these guys, the like Liverpool fans, took over that stadium in extra time without knowing that we were gonna win or not. They just completely took over the atmosphere. I feel like that gave the edge to Liverpool to keep on going, especially for the young guys, the confidence and all that. But just seeing like on the screen of like all of them going absolutely crazy, like some of them crying, yelling, all that before the game is even like anywhere close to being done. It was like the first 5 minutes in the first half, and I was just like, man, this is what it means to be a Liverpool supporter at the moment. The passion, just magical moments. Jurgen Klopp leaving, it just meant to be. And I'm again back to that tweet. As soon as that game finished, I started bawling my eyes out, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm in the pub, just trying, and then trying to celebrate. So when I tweeted that out, it was just like pure of like utter emotion. I'm not even like, you don't even think straight. It's just adrenaline. You're excited, whatever. And then obviously it blew up, and the amount of like people that have reached out and all that stuff is just unreal. And that's what being a Liverpool supporter is all about, man. It's just unreal.
So basically all of this just to say, go follow Georgie's Twitter.
You'll
so you can see the
alone.
tweet that he's talking about.
Yeah, it's just insane. And
I think it is cool because winning a trophy, this is what I've learned in my playing and my coaching experience, is that winning a trophy, or the trophy specifically, can mean so many different things to different people. Like, let's be honest, if Manchester City was in the Carabao Cup final against Chelsea and they win 3-0, let's say, doesn't mean much. However, to Liverpool, that victory means so much more than it could have meant to most other teams in the Premier League, just because of everything that's going on. And I think that's really cool. I think that's like if I was a Liverpool player, if I was Klopp or whatever, he even said it. This was the most special trophy he's won in all his time, right?
And he won the Premier League.
And he won the Premier League, and he won the Champions League. So it's like, I think that's cool that you can have something that maybe some people would be like, it's just a Carabao Cup. To say that trophy meant a lot because of everything that went around it. Not specifically that tournament, but everything that was going on at that time. For me, some of the most important things that I've ever won weren't things that I was like, that look really good on a mantle. It was really more so just knowing the journey that you go through to finally do that is what really means a lot. So I think that's kind of cool. The other thing is, I think it also adds another level of importance to the Carabao Cup from now on. Because I do think that next year, whoever wins the Carabao Cup, it's going to mean a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more impressive that they did it. Even if the road to the Carabao Cup is not as hard, it's still, I think, it still like elevates the tournament a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best finals, one of the best games I've watched in the past few years. So, it was just amazing, man.
So let's move on. Let's not forget, though. Let's not forget. There's been another team on the radar who's been flying lately. My boys at Arsenal.
Absolutely unreal.
They are smashing teams now.
I mean, I don't know, but I feel like every game I look at the score or watch, it's like 4-5, 4-5, 4-5. It's insane.
This is impressive.
Besides the Porto one, everything else is 4-5, 4-5, 4-5. That's absolutely insane.
And Porto, I'm confident because we still have to play them at home.
Yeah. But this is the stretch right now that you guys are entering where it matters the most, right? Where you have, I don't know who you play on the 4th.
We play a couple good teams coming up.
I don't know who you play Monday, but you do play Man City and Chelsea the following two. With Porto in between, I believe.
We're in a good spot.
A very good spot.
So, smashing teams, playing very, very well.
No injuries.
No injuries, and even the players who were like, they haven't been playing as well, or they're like Kai Havertz has been playing unreal. Man, we look good. I'm excited. I'm excited because I do really think it's going to come down to the last match day.
Really?
I think it's going to come down, and I don't think it's going to be like one of those where like Liverpool just has to tie or whatever. I think it's going to be one of those like just depends. Like it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for everyone, but it's going to come down to the last match day between three teams.
Let me see who you guys play Monday because
when is the last time that the Premier League has come down to three teams on the final match day?
I couldn't even tell you that, to be honest.
Because I think it might get there. Obviously, Manchester City still has to play Arsenal, so that's going to be one that could change a couple things.
So that's what I was gonna look at. So matches, you play Sheffield away, which we should win that one. Then you have Brentford at home.
Brentford's always difficult for us.
Brentford's difficult, but like Liverpool smashed them away.
Yeah, but there's always those teams that make it harder for you.
Yeah, and then West Ham destroyed Brentford yesterday 4-2. So you have Sheffield on the 4th, Brentford on the 9th, on the 12th you have Porto, and then you have Chelsea. That sucks. Chelsea international break, Man City. That sucks.
Yeah.
So you play Man City after the international break. That's a tough one because players go away. You kind of lose that.
Yeah, you lose the streak that you're on. You always worried about injuries, players coming back with injuries.
But so let's say you have Chelsea, Man City, Luton Town, Brighton, Villa, away at Wolves, and against Spurs. So that stretch of games, that's a pretty away at Wolves, not an easy game. Home to Aston Villa, not an easy game. Away at Brighton, not easy. Home to Luton.
Not an easy last stretch for us. It's the way we've been playing has been really good because
unreal. The confidence all the players are getting just like
watch us smash Manchester City 5-0.
I hope so.
All right, let's calm down.
What realistically right now, if you had to say the Chelsea score and the Man City score?
Chelsea's a 3-1 win. Manchester City,
Would you take a draw away in Man City? Like right now?
If we do well in all the other games, yeah.
That's what's gonna matter, right? Because if you guys tie Chelsea, then Man City becomes a must.
I still think so. I think now City, there's going to be another game or two that they're going to drop some points.
Yeah, they don't look as strong, do they?
No, not as. It's not guaranteed. It's always guaranteed, man. But with them, and
they did smack Luton today though, 6-2.
Yeah,
but that's a cup game.
But they haven't been as consistent as they have been in the past. So there's been some games where I'm like, they might drop points here. They've gotten away with it a little bit recently. So
it's gonna be very interesting. And they have older players. Well, Jack Grealish got hurt today, but he doesn't play too much anyway. So isn't me the whole entire season is still to be decided. The problem you and City have, well, I guess Liverpool with the Europa League, but you guys are gonna be concentrating on putting everything against Porto now. So I wonder how much that will play a part in like the Premier League.
I honestly don't think Porto is going to be a difficult game.
You don't think so?
No. I think playing them at home, the way we've been playing, I see us going in there and winning 3-0. And the good thing is that we don't have to worry about the away goals anymore.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I was like last year, we would be like, shit, if they score one goal on us, that makes things extremely difficult. Now it's like we can go in there, play like we've been playing, score a couple goals early, end up winning that game 3-0, 3-1, whatever. We'll still be fine.
Do you blame Raya for their goal?
I didn't see that game.
He was like literally the last second of the game, like 25 yards out from the side.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't even see the highlights of that game. I was in Dallas, I think. Was I in Dallas? I was somewhere. I can't remember where I was. I just remember that I was checking the score and it was 0-0, 0-0, and then it was like last minute Porto scored.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
was it a Ryan mistake?
I don't know if it was like a 50-50.
Man, that whole thing just needs to get figured out. I mean,
it's already figured out.
It's figured out, but what's Ramsdale gonna do?
Yeah, he has to leave.
He might just be okay, just being like, at some point I'll play. At some point.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
What else happened?
Inter Miami's back and playing.
Yeah.
Luis Suarez is like, first of all, let me. There was a picture of like DeAndre Yedlin in the halftime or in the pre-match huddle, and he's like talking and he's giving him a speech, and people are like absolutely roasting him because he's got Messi, he's got Suarez, he's got Jordi Alba and Busquets, and Yedlin's giving the team talk, and the caption was like, "This man really thinks he's him." It's like, dude, they're not listening to you. Yeah. They don't care. But I haven't followed up with the MLS or anything like that. Other than I think they won a game. I don't know.
I haven't
followed up. Mm-hmm. I saw Luis Suarez's terrible touch on one of the passes that Messi gave him right in front of the goal, and Luis Suarez touches like 10 yards away.
Like a Betos touch in one of those videos that I watched yesterday. But he has a goal and an assist in 2 games, Messi. Honestly,
I wonder how long the honeymoon will last. We got a pitch invader, ladies and gentlemen. The pitch invader is back. Hi, pitch invader. You want to say something to the people? No?
He's scared of the people.
Pitch invader, I need you move your big head out of the way though. Right here, puppy. Okay. Here, you want to go right here?
He's gonna pass out right there.
All right, you're okay. Okay, so as some of you guys know, we record this podcast pretty late at night because we have to wait until the kids go to bed. Because this one will not stay still and will not be quiet if we're recording while he's awake, so we have to put him down first. Problem is, if he wakes up and he notices I'm not there,
it's GG's.
It's GG's in the chat. But the good thing is that if this happens, when he comes back upstairs, or when he comes upstairs with me, since he's still like kind of out of it, he'll just be like quiet for at least 10, 15 minutes. And then after that, he starts getting fussy and wild and stuff. But Pitch Invader will be quiet for right now. But anyway, where were we at?
Inter Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I thought the hype in terms of like me wanting to watch the MLS more I would still want to this year. Last year I kind of did, and I felt like, oh, maybe I'll still watch like the Inter Miami games. I haven't even looked at the scores.
It's definitely going to go down a little bit. The hype of like just the general public watching the games on television. Still going to be sold out stadiums everywhere he goes, but the hype of him like being there is not as I guarantee the viewership is down a little bit versus when he first came in. So I just wonder how long he's going to be like super excited to be there versus before he's just like, I'm just going to walk around and do nothing.
Yeah, and then it becomes Suarez does the same. Busquets does the same. They all start doing the same exact thing,
and then the era will be over. But still, the only other thing we should probably touch on is your boy Mbappe.
Oh yeah, to
Real Madrid. I saw an article today that said that PSG is not gonna try and offer him anything anymore. They know that it's over. He's going to Real Madrid. There's gonna be no counter offer or anything else. That's it.
Yeah, and
he posted. Did you see that? He posted like on his Instagram story of him, like like people take pictures of the outside of the plane so you can see the city, and it was like a picture, and he put like "life is great" or something, or enjoying life or something, and it was a picture over Barcelona, so like he was traveling to Madrid.
Interesting.
Or he's going to Barca.
Can you imagine if he went to Barca
out
of all these years?
Wouldn't put it past him. That guy's all about the drama.
He really is. I saw their coach took him off early in the game. He was asked why. He's like, "Well, we're gonna have to get used to life without Mbappe, so might as well see how it is now." So that he might start getting benched at some point. I mean, it's not like it matters for the league, to be honest.
No, but some people like once you're out of the project, you're not going to be there long term. You might as well just
try to get him out.
Get some of the younger guys in, or get some of the other guys in that are going to be committed. Who knows?
That team is going to be insane.
But anyway, Georgie just wanted to record this podcast so he can go on about Liverpool the whole time because he knew he's been saying since as soon as the game was over, he messaged me and Joe and was like, "Hey, I want a podcast." All of a sudden, Georgie wanted to be back.
Listen, I was back before, but we got sick.
Yeah, we did get sick.
So we couldn't.
Norovirus.
We were actually going to record a podcast that day, or the following day, but we all just.
So we had we don't know if we had it, but we had a stomach bug essentially. My younger kid got it. Lobo got it, and he threw up. And then he gave it to Roman, and Roman threw up. And then I got it, and I threw up. And then Georgie babysat my kids one of those days where we thought we were fine. And all of a sudden, Georgie starts throwing up.
Yeah.
And then my wife, Brittany, she started throwing up afterwards. So she's the last of it. She's good now. So I think we're all good. But there was a small chance we weren't going to make it there for a second.
I mean, I thought it was going to be a zombie at first, so...
Georgie is very dramatic when it comes to this stuff, though. I was fine. Like, it went through me. I was like, I'm good.
Nah, guys, I'm telling you.
Georgie was like...
Don't get it. Don't volunteer yourself. Don't volunteer as a tribute.
So, but we're good now, and we're back, and we are going to start doing the podcast a little bit more often. That's the thing about these things. It's so hard. First of all, there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's so many podcasts nowadays. Yeah. And I get, like, ads now on my Instagram of, like, different startup podcasts, like... buying advertising space. And I'm just like, anyway, so it just shows that there's loads of podcasts out there right now. The other thing is I was cranking these things out like crazy, which affected my sleep, which was getting to be a problem because you can only do that for so long. So I have to it's okay to take a break every once in a while. So now we'll get back together with Joe. Everything's kind of calmed down a little bit. We'll get together with Joe. We'll talk about what the next steps are, but we'll make sure to continuously be doing these, even if it's just once a week, just so we have content that we're consistently posting out. But make sure you follow us on the TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. All of that stuff is at the NGW Podcast, and especially the YouTube, because the YouTube is where we post all of these videos, like the full length thing. But we also post some of the clips of some of the individual ones as well, and that's where we're really trying to grow as much, that and the TikTok.
Yeah.
Got anything else, Georgie?
Nope.
Roro, you got anything else? Can you say bye-bye? All right. GG's in the chat, people. Peace out.